Recently, Ukrainian officials reported a major Russian missile operation on March 7, deploying 10 Tu-95s strategic bombers and Black Sea warships in a strike that targeted energy and gas infrastructure across the country. The barrage, the first large-scale missile assault in months, unfolded in two waves before dawn, with explosions reported from Ternopil in the west to Kharkiv in the east. Ukrainian Energy Minister Herman Halushchenko confirmed the attacks hit critical facilities, prompting an immediate response from emergency teams. The operation, which injured at least 2 people in Poltava Oblast, comes less than 2 weeks after President Volodymyr Zelensky's White House meeting with President Donald Trump on February 27. According to Ukrainian military sources, the assault began around 4 a.m. local time, with a second wave of missiles entering airspace by 6 a.m. Suspiln. Ukraine's public broadcaster reported explosions in Ternopil around 5 a.m., followed by blasts in Kharkiv at 6:30 a.m. in Poltava Oblast, a central region. A missile struck 2 residential buildings, injuring an adult and a child, though their conditions remain unclear, local officials said. Ternopil Oblast Governor Vyacheslav Nehoda told reporters that a critical infrastructure site in his region was damaged, potentially disrupting gas supplies. Emergency crews are assessing the situation, Nehoda said, adding that restoration efforts were underway. Halushchenko, speaking on national television, declined to specify which facilities were hit but emphasized the scale of the operation. Rescue and energy workers are deployed across multiple sites to address the damage, he said. In Ivano-Frankivsk Oblast, Governor Svetlana Onyshchuk reported strikes on infrastructure but no casualties. A damaged gas pipeline in Poltava Oblast further complicated the response, with no immediate estimate of repair timelines. Ukrainian air defenses were active nationwide, though officials have not released data on how many missiles were intercepted. Central to the operation was the Kalibr cruise missile, a long-range weapon deployed by Russian forces from naval platforms in the Black Sea. Developed by the Novator Design Bureau and introduced in the early 2000s, the Kalibr, or 3M14, is a subsonic missile designed to evade detection by flying at low altitudes, often between 50 and 150 feet above the surface. Its standard range exceeds 1,500 miles, depending on the variant, and it carries a warhead of approximately 1,000 pounds, capable of delivering high explosive payloads with precision. Military analysts note that its guidance system combines inertial navigation with satellite positioning, allowing mid-flight corrections to strike fixed targets like power stations or pipelines. The Kalibr family includes several models tailored to specific platforms. The 3M14T, used by surface ships such as frigates, offers extended range and is often paired with the 3M14K, a submarine-launched version compatible with vessels like the Kilo class. An export variant, the 3M14E, sacrifices range for a smaller footprint, but the missiles fired on March 7 likely drew from the full-capability domestic versions, given the reported launch points and target types. The Kalibr's versatility makes it ideal for this kind of operation, said Michael Kaufman, a senior research scientist at CNA, a defense think tank. It's built to hit infrastructure deep behind lines with minimal warning. The Tu-95s bombers, which Ukrainian channels tracked in the air, complemented the naval launches. These Soviet-era aircraft, upgraded with modern avionics, typically carry cruise missiles and are powered by 4 turboprop engines, giving them a distinctive acoustic profile. Deploying 10 at once, a significant number, suggests a coordinated effort with the Black Sea Fleet. Seeing that many Tu-95s aloft is unusual, said Mark Schwartz, a retired U.S. Army lieutenant general with the Cohen Group. It amplifies the naval strikes and stretches air defenses thin. Ukrainian estimates put the total missile count between 30 and 40, a figure awaiting official confirmation. This operation recalls a major strike on November 17, 2022, when Russian forces launched over 90 missiles, including Kalibrs, and dozens of drones against Ukraine's energy grid. That attack, one of the war's largest single-day barrages, disabled power stations and left millions without electricity as winter approached. Ukrainian defenses downed about half the projectiles, but the volume overwhelmed response systems. The intent feels similar, said Oksana Markarova, Ukraine's ambassador to the United States, speaking to reporters in Washington on March 7. They're targeting civilian infrastructure to maximize disruption. The 2022 strike focused heavily on Kyiv and eastern hubs, while the March 7 assault spread impacts across a broader swath, from Ivano-Frankivsk to Poltava. The timing of the latest strikes stands out. They mark the first significant Russian missile offensive since Zelensky met Trump at the White House on February 27, a discussion that yielded no firm commitments on aid or intelligence sharing. Trump called the talks a step toward peace, while Zelensky described them as productive, offering little detail.
Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline has weakened America, and this is America looking strong again, pushing to a solution.
The operation's aftermath left Ukrainian officials scrambling to quantify the toll. No comprehensive report emerged by midday, but the geographic spread, from western foothills to eastern plains, suggested a calculated effort to strain resources. For Kyiv, the strikes underscored a persistent vulnerability, even after months of relative calm in missile campaigns. For Moscow, deploying 10 Tu-95s bombers alongside a naval salvo signaled a capacity to escalate at will. As emergency lights flickered across affected regions, the events of March 7 reframed a conflict that had briefly seemed to settle into a quieter rhythm, raising questions about what calculations, diplomatic or military, might follow.